In today's episode of the Pathway Presents podcast, I have a very interesting guest here with me today. I'm with Szabo, and he's hailing over from the team at IRIS CRM. Their mantra is to sell faster, sell smarter, and it's basically the leading payments industry platform. And today we want to deep dive into what that actually means, what the product is all about, but even more important, how Ivan is thinking about growth for the company and his journey as a marketer. He is the VP of Marketing at IRIS. So, Ivan, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Lucas. Thanks for having me here today. So I appreciate your time, and the effort about, checking IRIS CRM. To give a short intro, IRIS CRM, is a tool that helps financial services companies, especially ISOs, which means independent sales organizations, PayFacs, which means payment facilitators, or banks that are related to the credit card industry.
Very cool. That gives a super high level overview. Maybe tell us a little bit more about the organizations that are using the platform and what problems are they sort of fixing and solving by leveraging the platform?
Yeah, so basically one of the core targets for people that work with us are like other kind of business companies that hold different various or high amount of merchants within their accounts, and they need to have reports or regular calculations done to see how much they get, how much they have to pay. And that's where IRIS CRM comes in handfully, because it saves time to all of them to automate all these calculations and do all these residual calculation thing to see how much money they get, how much money they owe, and all that stuff. Within our CRM Plus, we have like lots of features like Power Dialer. We have sales tools. We have like a regular CRM, like a lead following services. So yeah, basically that's a quick intro of what IRIS CRM do. And we do like a lot of things. We have like hundreds of features, and that you can check on our website.
Yep, well. Very cool. What would you say? Who is the major sort of person within the organization that is bringing in IRIS? Is that somebody from the sales side? Is that somebody from the sort of revenue operations side? Is it from a tech side? Is it a CTO that is bringing? Maybe tell us, who's typically holding the flag high for IRIS?
Yeah, so our founder and president, Dimitri Akrin, he's awesome. It's like he created this tool many years ago because he started an ISO. And he had issues with all his reporting and stuff. Like he said, like, hey, why I can find a software that could handle all these things, and basically he created everything out of his mind, all the enhancements and everything. So basically it's his baby, and it works beautifully. He started like I would say almost like 10 years ago, 12 years ago, and he had been working on IRIS CRM for all these years, with it, and rolling up all these features, useful features for all these fintech companies.
Mm-hmm. Very, very good. Now, how do these fintech companies hear and learn about IRIS? Like, what are sort of, as a marketer, maybe you can give us an insight there. What are sort of the client acquisition channels that you guys leverage?
So originally when we started working with IRIS CRM, we had like a mouth-to-mouth reference kind of marketing, which is the basic one. But I think that what made us stronger was our presence on different kind of events, like organizations, where there are particular events across the year in the United States that are related to all these this particular industry. As you can imagine, it's not a huge industry. It's not like we get like 1 million possible clients. That's not the right number. We have a few thousand targets, and it's like a closed industry. All these ISOs, there are like not so many out there, but there are some. So basically, I would say that at the beginning were the events and the mouth-to-mouth. Then we transitioned it and tried to make it organic. So people would find us on Google when they were searching for consultations, or questions they would have on their own business. So we focused our marketing there. And also, of course, we had to run a lot of PPC and try a lot of different channels to acquire the customers. But basically, we're really, our name is like, I would say one of like a huge soda brand in the world, recognized in the industry just by the name. So basically, I think we did a lot of brand recognition in the initial years. So the brand, it's like people knows us, people in the industry knows us.
Mm-hmm. And you mentioned PPC, you mentioned a lot of brand awareness. So people might be flocking to the website. How do you think about the website? Like, what role does the website play in their journey of getting to know and getting started with IRIS?
Yes, for us, the website is the core. I would think that 99% is like, there's no way you can avoid having a good website and a good informational website and a good, not just for conversions, but also to give value to the customers, to the clients, or the potential, or anybody, that would be interested in any of the topics. So I really think that the website is 100%, it's the core thing that every company should focus on, not just because of the informational or the company information, but also, to provide some kind of value to everyone there.
Yeah, I see. Okay, that makes a lot of sense. You mentioned actually conversions. How we're talking about the website there, like what do you consider a strength of the website as it is today versus where do you see room for improvement? Because many marketers we have on the show, they're in a constant motion to sort of update and improve the website. How do you think about that?
Yes, exactly. It's like an eternal rolling thing. It's not something that it's totally done. Like the definition of done is not yet the release. It's like you have to keep working on it, because basically you have to analyze and see what are your weak points using like some sort of hot map tool, see where people is clicking, of course tying that up with your analytics, see where things are going, check out the funnel, the process, where are you losing the people, where are you converting the best. So basically, yeah, I would think that the website, at least in our case, in the last years that I have been working with Iris, we have rebuilt our website quite a lot, and we have building and adding stuff here and there based on the feedback that we get and the experimentation we run on the website.
Okay. Very, very good. Okay, cool. So is there something that you've learned actually as a marketer over the years? It doesn't have to be just in that role, but I mean, obviously you've been with Iris for a while. Is there anything that you've learned when it comes to conversions? Any sort of approaches, technologies, methods, maybe even just a way of thinking on how to sort of increase, conversions from the page?
Yes. First of all, I think that the pitch is really important. Who you're talking to, understand the avatar of the regular customer that your business might have. It's critical, because it's not the same, if I'm going to sell like potato chips, it's not the same target audience that, we're talking about financial companies that run billions of dollars, So it's quite a gap that you need to learn as a marketer, the right pitch and the right terminology as well, because all the marketers, we get prepared for marketing. It's like we know about ROIs, we know about KPIs, we know all these terms, we know about Google Analytics, we know about stats, that, experimentation. But sometimes it's really hard to learn the niche or the industry. Of course, some things are easy, like if you work for again, like a soda company, or you're working for a food company, it might be easier. But when you're like really niche, especially in the financial industry, you need to be pretty careful about the pitch, the tone that you use. And also you need to be really careful and read through about the terminology that you're going to use there, because, a gateway could mean a lot of things, but in the payments industry, a gateway has a different meaning. So you need to be careful of the things that you use and the keywords you use, and not to rank keywords just because of the sake of ranking them. So I think it's really important to understand, take care of the pitch that you're going to have with your possible audience, and also understand what you're talking about.
Yeah, it's actually interesting because it has been a theme on the podcast where marketers, they get all the core tools down, but then it's about really niching down, understanding the wording, the language of the niche. No, that makes a lot of sense, specifically if people, switch roles from time to time. Very cool. I would like to switch gears a little bit and learn about yourself as a marketer, because there's so much content out there for marketers to educate themselves upon. Where do you personally like to read? Like, what's your go-to resources? What's your go-to places to read?
Yes, so lately it has been incredibly, I wasn't a fan of it at the beginning a few years ago, but now I am. I think LinkedIn is really powerful these days, especially with the rollout that they did like last year, I think, about groups. There's a lot of groups that you can learn a lot about marketing itself, about, software as a business, as a service. You can learn a lot of groups, a lot of information that is being shared there, and then, go through those different websites. I would also recommend, especially in LinkedIn, the Harvard Business Review page is awesome. You get a lot of resources there, and also they share a lot of stuff about marketing. But yeah, I would recommend LinkedIn. These days it's been pretty hot.
I got some rapid fire questions for you to wrap it up for today. Are you ready for those?
Sure, Lucas. Go ahead.
What is the last book you read, or the book that you would recommend any marketer should read?
I love Ray Dalio. So the Principles book is awesome.
what is the one single thing that your company is focused on the most at the moment?
Solving problems, solving our clients' problems.
If there would be no boundaries in technology, for your role as a marketer, what would be the one thing that you would fix?
I think I would fix the reach of people, like reaching everywhere, like not having like any kind of internet walls, like people not having the good internet or not having internet at all. So I guess that information should be open for everyone in the world.
What is the last thing that kept you awake at night about the company?
Thinking about like what can I do better tomorrow.
And for the very last question, I would like to do a little bit of time travel, right? Let's go back to the days of Rochester, right? So Institute of Technology, you're heading out of education. Now, what would be your advice for your journey in marketing that you would give to yourself?
I would tell myself not to spend too much money on PPC.
Nice.
I try to do everything organically first. You know, I think that's the hard thing you learn. Sometimes, and it's like fishing. Like sometimes you get it, sometimes you don't. But in my experience, it's like we spend thousands of dollars on PPC campaigns that didn't bring not even a lead. So
It makes a lot of sense. Even I really appreciate you took the time with us today to be guest on Pathwing Presents. I want to give you the very last word. If somebody would be forgetting all that we discussed about IRIS today, what's the one thing that they should remember?
Yeah, so please, if you're in the financial services industry, please look at us up at iriscrm.com. You're more than welcome to contact us or our awesome support team. I think that's what makes IRIS CRM, the best tool, I think, in the financial service industry. Our people, we have a culture that people comes first. So you're more than welcome to contact us anytime, or just send us an email at team@iriscrm.com. I will be more than glad to reply back to you.
Thanks a lot for being a guest on Pathwing Presents.
Thank you, Lucas. I appreciate it.